Our marriage lasted exactly 1 year, 12 months that felt like a lifetime of highs and a sudden crash into hell. I'm Natalie. I met Christopher at a friend's party. He was 31, an architect with intense eyes and a laugh that made the room brighter. I was 29, climbing fast in marketing, ambitious, always chasing the next big project. We clicked instantly. Late-night talks, weekend getaways, plans for a future we thought was unbreakable. We married 6 months later in a small garden ceremony, vows full of promises. Forever, we said. The first months were fire, passion, laughter, dreams. Then my job exploded. Big clients, international trips, 60-hour weeks. Christopher supported it at first. Go get it, babe. But I saw the change. He grew quiet when I packed for another trip. Texts went unanswered. He spent more time working late at the office. I told myself it was normal. Newlywed adjustment. I was wrong. The night I came home early from a London trip, I found them. Christopher and Vanessa, my stepsister, in our bed. Vanessa, who had always hated me since Dad remarried when I was 12. She looked at me with triumph, not shame. Christopher stammered, "Natalie, wait, it's not..." But it was. Multiple times, for months, while I was away building our future. I was pregnant, 8 weeks. I hadn't told him yet, wanted to surprise him when I returned. The stress hit hard. I miscarried 2 days later. He didn't even come to the hospital. The divorce was fast and ugly. He fought for the apartment, the savings, spread rumors to mutual friends. Natalie was never home, always work. I won most assets, moved to a new city, cut everyone off, blocked his number, blocked Vanessa. A year passed. I rebuilt, new job, new friends, therapy. I was healing. Then the text from an unknown number. "We must talk urgently before it's too late." I knew it was him. I replied, "Goodbye forever." Blocked it. Thought that was the end, but fate had a cruel twist waiting. One stormy night pounding at my door. I opened it to find Christopher collapsed on the step, gasping, clutching his chest. He looked up at me, eyes pleading. "Natalie." Then he passed out. I called 911, heart racing. The mistake we both made was about to surface, and it would hurt more than the betrayal ever did. I thought the divorce closed the book. It only turned the page. The ambulance ride was a blur of red lights and sirens. I sat in the front, hands shaking, staring at Christopher on the stretcher behind the glass. He was unconscious, oxygen mask over his face, monitors screaming. At the hospital, they rushed him into the ER. Dr. Bennett, a tired-eyed oncologist, pulled me aside 20 minutes later. "Are you family?" "Ex-wife," I said, voice flat. He nodded. "Mr. Christopher has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. It's extremely aggressive. Weeks, maybe less. He's been hiding it for months." The floor tilted. "We found your name and number as his emergency contact," he continued. He kept repeating it before he collapsed. I walked into the room on autopilot. Christopher was awake, barely. Tubes in his arms, monitors beeping. He looked 10 years older, skin gray. "Natalie," he rasped when he saw me. "You came." I stood at the foot of the bed, arms crossed. "You have cancer," I said, not a question. He nodded, tears already falling. "I found out 6 months ago, right after the divorce was final." I laughed, bitter. "Of course you did." He tried to sit up, winced. "I wanted to tell you. I texted, called. You blocked me." "Because you slept with Vanessa," I snapped. "Because you destroyed us." He closed his eyes. I know silence. Then he opened them again. "There's more," I waited. The affair, it wasn't just loneliness. It was revenge. My blood ran cold. Revenge for what? For you choosing work over me every single time. For the nights I begged you to stay home and you said, "Next week." For making me feel invisible, I stared at him. "So you slept with my sister to punish me?" He looked away. I was wrong. So wrong. "But you weren't blameless, Natalie. We both killed this marriage." The monitors beeped louder. I wanted to scream. Instead, I whispered, "Get out of my life was the best thing I ever did." He reached for my hand. I pulled back. "I'm dying," he said quietly. "I don't want forgiveness. I just want you to know the truth before I go." I turned to leave. At the door, I stopped. "Send Vanessa my regards," I said, and walked out. But the truth wasn't finished with me yet. I thought hate would protect me. I was wrong. I left the hospital that night shaking with rage. How dare he blame me for his cheating? Revenge, he called it. Like sleeping with my stepsister was some justified response to my work trips. I drove home in the storm, tears mixing with rain on the windshield. Ava called as I pulled into the driveway. "You okay?" she asked. I told her everything. She was silent a moment. Then, "Natalie, he's dying. But that doesn't erase what he did. You don't owe him anything." I knew she was right, but the pity crept in anyway. The image of him in that bed. Small, weak, alone. I didn't sleep. The next day, Dr. Bennett called. "Christopher's asking for you. He's stable for now, but declining fast. He wants to explain more." I almost said no. But something pulled me back. I went. He looked worse. Skin translucent, eyes sunken. "Natalie," he whispered when I entered. I stood at the door, arms crossed. "What do you want?" "To tell you the whole truth." I didn't sit. He talked anyway. "I was angry," he said. "You were always gone. I felt like a roommate. Vanessa. She listened, made me feel wanted. I told myself you didn't care." I laughed coldly. "So you destroyed us because I had a job?" He flinched. "No. I destroyed us because I was weak, because I let resentment turn into something ugly. I gaslighted you, made you think you were imagining things when you suspected." I remembered. The late nights he claimed were work, the way he turned arguments around on me. "You're paranoid, Natalie. You're never here." I felt sick. "And the miscarriage?" I asked, voice breaking. He looked away. I was relieved at first. Terrible, I know, because I thought it would trap us in a marriage I was sabotaging. Tears burned my eyes. "You're a monster." "I know," he said quietly. "But you weren't perfect either." I wanted to slap him. Instead, I listened. "You shut me out," he said. "Work was always first. I begged for time, for attention. You said, after this project, there was always another project." The words hit like punches, because part of me knew they were true. I had chosen ambition over us. Not intentionally, but I had. We both made mistakes. His was cruel. Mine was neglect. Both killed what we had. I left the room without a word. The rage and pity warred inside me. He was dying, but the pain he caused was still alive. I thought I was the only victim. I was wrong. We both were. The next morning, I returned to the hospital with coffee and a resolve to keep my distance. Christopher was sitting up, looking slightly better. "Thank you for coming," he said. I placed the coffee on the table. "I'm not here for you," I said. "I'm here because I need to know everything before it's over." He nodded. "Ask." I did. About Vanessa, about how long, about why her. He didn't hold back. "It started as flirting. She came to the office when you were away, said she was checking on me for the family, then drinks, then more." I felt sick. "She hated you," he said. "Always did. Used me to hurt you." I knew that. Vanessa had resented me since Dad married her mom, always competing, always taking. "And you let her." He looked down. "I was angry. You were gone so much, I felt like I didn't matter," I snapped. "So you punished me by sleeping with my sister?" He flinched. "Yes, and I hated myself for it every day after." The door opened. Vanessa walked in. Designer coat, perfect makeup, fake concern on her face. "Natalie," she said, voice syrupy, "I heard about Christopher. I came to support." I stood. "Get out." She ignored me, walked to the bed. "Chris, baby, how are you?" He looked away. Vanessa turned to me. "You should go. He needs rest. Family only." I laughed, cold, sharp. "Family? You destroyed our family." She smirked. "You destroyed it first. Always working, never home. He needed someone who was there. Christopher spoke, voice weak but firm. "Vanessa, stop." She froze. "It's over. It was always a mistake." Her face twisted. "You don't mean that." He looked at me. "I do." Vanessa's mask cracked. "You'll regret this when he's gone. You'll be alone again." I stepped closer. "No, I'll be free." She stormed out, slamming the door. Christopher closed his eyes. "I'm sorry," he whispered. I sat. For the first time, I took his hand. "We both made mistakes," I said. The rage was still there, but the pity was winning, and the truth was only half out. I thought hate was the strongest feeling left. I was wrong. Regret was stronger. The days blurred into hospital visits. Christopher's condition worsened fast. Chemo wasn't an option anymore. Palliative care. Weeks, the doctor said, maybe less. I came every day. Not out of love, out of unfinished business. Vanessa tried to visit again. Security turned her away at my request. She called me screaming, "You can't keep me from him. He's dying because of you," I said coldly. "Stay away." She hung up. Christopher and I talked, really talked, no filters. He admitted everything. The affair wasn't just revenge, it was addiction. Vanessa fed his ego when I was gone, made him feel desired. He hated himself for it. "I used your work as an excuse," he said one afternoon, voice weak, "but I was the one who checked out first. I stopped trying. I let her in because it was easier than fighting for us." I listened. Then I spoke. "You think I didn't see the red flags? The late nights, the distance? I ignored them because I was scared. Scared if I confronted you. You'd leave, so I buried myself in work, made you feel invisible. I chose promotion over us." He looked at me, tears falling. "We both made the mistake," he whispered. I nodded. The miscarriage came up. He cried harder. "I was a coward. When you lost the baby, I should have been there. Instead, I ran to her. I cried too. I blamed myself for the miscarriage. Thought the stress from work caused it. I shut down. Didn't let you in. We held hands, not as lovers, as two people who broke something beautiful, and finally saw how. Ava came once. She sat with me in the waiting room. "He's manipulating you again," she said. I shook my head. "No. This time, we're just being honest. Christopher's last good day, he asked for a favor. Call Vanessa. Tell her I'm sorry." "But it's over," I did. She screamed, then cried, then hung up. Karma found her without my help. Christopher looked peaceful after. "We both made the mistake," he said again, "but we fixed what we could." I squeezed his hand. Yes, the end was coming, but the truth had set something free. I thought forgiveness was impossible. We found a version of it anyway. Christopher's condition deteriorated quickly after Vanessa's visit. The doctors moved him to palliative care. No more treatments, just comfort, pain management, time. I was there every day. Ava tried to talk me out of it once. "He doesn't deserve your time," she said. "Maybe not," I replied. But I deserved the closure. Christopher was lucid most days. We talked about everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. He told me about the guilt that ate him after the affair, how he tried to end it with Vanessa multiple times, but she threatened to tell me everything if he left. How he hated himself for letting her manipulate him. I told him about the nights I cried alone after the miscarriage, how I blamed myself for working too much, how I shut down because I was scared of losing him too. We cried together, no blame, just truth. One afternoon, he asked for a favor. "Call Vanessa, tell her to stay away." For good I did. She answered, voice cold. "He's mine now. You had your chance, he's dying," I said. "And he doesn't want you here." She screamed, called me names, then hung up. Christopher smiled weakly when I told him, "Thank you." We spent his last good day looking at old photos on my phone. Our wedding. First apartment. Honeymoon. He laughed at one of us covered in paint from renovating. "I was happy then," he said. "Me too," I whispered. He squeezed my hand. "I'm sorry I ruined it. I'm sorry I helped." He shook his head. We both did. The end came quietly. One night, monitors slowed. I held his hand. He looked at me. "Thank you for coming back." I nodded, tears falling. "Thank you for asking." He closed his eyes. Peaceful. Gone. I sat there until the nurses came. The mistake we both made wasn't just his cheating or my distance, it was letting pride and fear stop us from fixing it sooner. But in the end, we fixed what we could. I thought the urgent text was too late. It was exactly on time. Christopher passed 3 days after that last good conversation. Quietly, peacefully. I was there, holding his hand. He opened his eyes one last time. "Thank you," he whispered. Then he was gone. The funeral was small. Mom came, Ava, a few old friends. No Vanessa. She didn't dare show up. I spoke at the service. Not about the perfect husband, about the real one. The one who loved fiercely but broke easily. The one who made terrible mistakes and owned them in the end. I talked about my mistakes too. How I let ambition blind me. How I chose work over us. How we both let pride keep us from fixing what was broken sooner. The relatives listened. Some cried. No one argued. Afterward, Mom hugged me. "You did the right thing," she said. "Coming back. Forgiving." I nodded. It wasn't full forgiveness. It was enough. Enough to let go of the hate. Enough to remember the good without pain. Vanessa called once, weeks later. Drunk. Angry. "You think you won?" she slurred. "He died loving me." I hung up, blocked her. She lost everything. Him, the family, her reputation. Karma didn't need my help. A year later, life is mine again. New job, better balance, new friends, even a few dates. I kept the lesson. Love isn't just passion, it's presence. It's choosing each other every day. Christopher and I didn't, but in his final days, we chose truth. We chose peace. I visit his grave sometimes, leave flowers, talk to him, not as a wife, as someone who understood, finally. The urgent text wasn't about saving him, it was about saving us from a lifetime of regret. We both made the mistake, thinking love alone was enough. It isn't. It needs work, attention, forgiveness. I have that now. With myself. The day he collapsed at my doorstep wasn't the end. It was the beginning of letting go. Properly. Completely. I walk away lighter, stronger, free. The mistake we both made almost destroyed us. Facing it healed what was left.